Hello, my name is Shlomi Noah and I wish to present a sneak preview of rdebug, a pure SQL server-side debugger and debugging API for MySQL. rdebug is developed as part of Common Schema, a framework for MySQL administration. MySQL lacks built-in debugging capabilities for stored routines. Third-party tools, as well as MySQL's own tools, try to work around this, either by emulating routine code on client side, breaking routine code to smaller parts, then assembling them again, or by injecting code into one's routine. rdebug offers a no emulation solution that uses code injection. One compiles one's routine such that debug info is injected into it. rdebug works by using two connections, the worker connection and the debugger connection. One executes one's routines in the worker connection. The debugger connection attaches itself to the worker connections and controls its workflow. I would like to show an example of debugging a simple routine using rdebug. So please note print tokens, which accepts a text and parses it, tokenizes its words using the space delimiter, and then outputs one word at a time as a result set. This is not your typical routine, but its simplicity and verboseness will do well for our demonstration. In this short cast, I will show first how to step over the routine step by step. I will then show how one can view the internal status of variables used by the routine and how these variables can be manipulated by the debugger on the fly. So first, let us open our worker connection and just demonstrate one execution of this routine without any debugging info. So I'm gonna send over a string like quick brown fox and sit back and see how the procedure acts. So it prints 4 result sets, one for each word, the quick brown fox. And the next thing I want to do is to add compiled code or debugging info into this routine. And I'm going to compile the routine using rdebug's internal mechanism. And the next thing I want to do is to attach the debugger session onto the worker session, and for that I need to know the connection ID for the working session, and that's 255. So call rdebug start 255 does the attachment. And the next thing I want to show is how to step by step this routine. So call rdebug step over will initiate a step-by-step execution where every single statement turns into a breakpoint. So I'm going to execute the routine again, and apparently it hangs because there's a breakpoint. And as I step over, I can see that the procedure reacts to my commands, loops, and defines variables until it finally exits, where I choose to stop debugging. Now, just before I remove all debugging info from the routine, I want to show another demonstration. This time I want to show how I can view variables throughout the routine execution and how I can manipulate them. So I'm going to start debugging again and do the same step over routine, but this time I'm also interested in looking at some variable state. So watch variables, and I can find the input parameter str, that's the quick brown fox, and a couple local variables I declared with some default values, and they're not set yet, and I'm going to step over and watch them again. There, num tokens has already been modified, and I'm going to step a few times over and watch the variables again. There's a new variable here called current token. It was declared as a local variable in a nested begin end block, so that we can see that variables go in and out of scope. Let's do a couple step overs. So the quick brown, and watch the variables, and the next obvious question is whether I can manipulate a variable, and indeed I can. So call rdebug set variable. I'm going to change the token index, which counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to set it back to 2 and resume the operation, and there we go, we get quick again on the right side here. So this worked, and watching again the variables, we get token index equals 2. And the next thing I want to modify is let's modify the input parameter itself, a grand day out, and continue debugging this code. And we can see that the third word automatically replaces itself, so now we're printing day because that's word number 3 in our new text, and there's out, and we are over with this routine. So I can actually manipulate any parameter variable, any local variable, and any user defined variable in a stored routine. So rdebug is work in progress. There's still a lot of things to do, and that's all for now. Thank you for watching.